Eufy Omni S2 versus Omni S1 Pro. Straight up, one of these is overkill for a lot of homes, and the price jump needs a serious reason to make sense. The real difference shows up on carpets and on how little babysitting the station needs week to week. That's where the gap opens. If you've got mostly hard floors and want to spend less without giving up the flagship feel, one of them fits. If your home is mixed flooring, pets shedding everywhere, and rugs the older model trips on, the other earns its price. Both linked below. Hard floors first, because that's the daily job. Both clean well on tile, vinyl, and hardwood, and both use the Hydrojet roller mop with real downward pressure instead of those sad dragging pads. But the S2 took the system and gave it a serious upgrade. The roller pushes down with about 15 newtons. The station washes the pad with hot water around 140 degrees, and the water gets electrolyzed for actual sanitizing instead of just rinsing. That's the kind of thing that sounds like marketing until you realize the S1 Pro just does cold water washing and calls it a day. On dried-on coffee, sticky kitchen splatter, muddy paw prints, the S2 leaves the floor genuinely cleaner.
The S1 Pro still mops better than most rivals out there, no question. But if your idea of clean means barefoot with a toddler clean, the newer one is in a different league. Carpets and rugs. This is where the gap turns into a canyon. The S1 Pro lifts its mop about 12 millimeters, which handles low-pile rugs and runners, but starts struggling the second you put a real area rug in front of it. People with thicker carpet have run into wet edges and the robot bailing on the carpet entirely. The S2 lifts the roller a full inch, and the chassis raises for carpets up to 2 inches thick. Add the 30,000 pascals of suction that doesn't fade over time, and you've got a robot that actually deep cleans pile instead of skimming the top. If your home is mixed flooring with proper rugs, the S1 Pro is the one that loses here. Not by a little. Now navigation. Both use 3D mapping with obstacle recognition. Both build accurate floor plans. Both let you tap a room in the app and send the robot. For most furniture and basic clutter, they're close. Where they pull apart is the real-world stress test. Cords on the floor, kid toys, shoes, rug tassels, pet bowls. The S1 Pro recognizes around 100 objects and does fine, but it does occasionally swallow a charging cable or hesitate awkwardly. The S2's Matrix Eye 2.0 jumps to over 200 recognized objects and reacts in real time to things that move, like a dog walking through. Reviewers who've put both through the same homes consistently. If you're the kind of person who hates pre-cleaning before the robot runs, that difference matters every single day. Maintenance and the dock. Both stations are full hands-off setups. Self-emptying dust bag, mop wash and dry, water tanks, detergent dosing. The S1 Pro empties roughly 30 days. The S2 stretches that to 68. The mop drying on the S2 uses hot air at 131 degrees, which is the difference between a fresh-smelling pad and that mildew funk you get from cheap robots after a few weeks. There's also a fragrance diffuser built into the S2 station, which sounds gimmicky until you read the reviews from people who didn't think they'd care and ended up loving it. One thing worth flagging on the S1 Pro, there's an aggregate complaint about the wastewater canister gasket not sealing properly, forcing some owners to DIY a fix with tape. Not a deal breaker, but it shows up enough to mention. The S2 reworked that whole system.
Quick note on hair, because long-haired and pet households live and die by this. Both have anti-tangle brush designs, but the S2's Duo Spiral system is TÜV certified for 0 tangles, and the difference shows up after a few weeks of shedding season. Less brush picking with scissors, basically. Price and value. They're not in the same range, and the S2 sits well above the S1 Pro. The S1 Pro tends to see deeper discounts, especially around major sales events. And for a hard floor home with low-pile rugs, it still delivers a flagship experience for noticeably less money. The S2 holds price more firmly, because it's the new top-tier release. What you're paying extra for is real though. Better suction that doesn't fade, true carpet capability, sanitizing mop wash, longer self-empty interval, smarter avoidance, and a station that needs less of your attention. Whether that premium is justified depends entirely on your home, and that's the call we're about to make. Here's the call. For most homes with mixed flooring, pets, and real rugs, the Omni S2, the carpet lift, the sanitizing hot water mop wash, and the longer self-empty interval are the reasons the price jump actually lands. If your floors are mostly hard surfaces with thin runners, the S1 Pro still delivers a flagship clean for a lot less. If you've got a heavy shedder or a toddler crawling on the floor, no fluff, the S2 is the one worth stretching for. The S1 Pro tends to see the deepest cuts around major sales, so worth waiting if budget is tight. And you, which one would you pick? Let me know in the comments. Both linked below.